Yo, 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 what's up, y'all? Nico here. So today we're going to talk about the question, should individuals in recovery take a prescribed narcotic? I recently had both of my hips replaced, my left and my right, completely replaced. The reason being, again, 3 years ago, I got diagnosed with AVN. Really what that means is that my bones weren't getting blood, so they were dying and just collapsing. If you guys notice in some of my older videos, I'm swaying. It's just because I'm trying to relieve the pressure off my legs because it hurt. I was living in constant pain just all day. I wouldn't take any pills for that just because I knew my behaviors in the past. When I decided to get the surgery to correct my hips and relieve the chronic pain that I was living in, I knew that that was going to come with a recovery time frame. In this recovery time frame, I knew that they were going to prescribe to me opiates. I had to come to a decision on whether to take them or not take them first. And that was a difficult decision. There isn't really a manual that you're given to make these type of decisions. My biggest concerns was, one, is this going to be counted as a relapse? Two, am I going to become addicted again? Those are two pretty large concerns that I had. When I have concerns, guys, I go through a process to try to get to the root of them. Again, there's not a manual for doing sober living. For me and my personal beliefs, I believe that there is a manual for life. One of the first things that I believe that I need to do is take the situation to my Creator. For me, that's Christ Jesus. So I have conversation with Him directly. And I vocalize those three things. One, that I'm scared and I don't know what to do. Two, I don't know if this is going to count as a relapse. Three, if I take these, am I going to become addicted again? In taking that to my Creator, I received the answer that says, don't be in fear. Do be wise and aware, but don't be in fear. That gave me some great encouragement because I knew I needed to be aware. The wise part was the additional knowledge, and then the confirmation that I shouldn't live in fear was all I really needed. Now that I had the answer from my Creator, next thing I do is I go talk to the people, the governing bodies, right? That's what I call them. So it's going to be the surgeon and the doctor. My primary care physician needed to sign off on allowing me to have the surgery. So they run all the tests, everything checks out. She says, all right, I'm willing to sign off on this once you tell me whether I should share with the surgeon that you've had opiate addiction in your history. I let her know that I wanted to be treated as equally as anybody else going through this procedure, and that I felt if the surgeon was provided with that information, there might be a bias that I don't want to have to deal with. My doctor understood that. She didn't share with the surgeon any type of my opiates addictions, and the surgeon gave me the same exact prescription of meds that they would have given anybody else after the hip replacement. The next thing I had to do was I had to address it with my inner circle, with my people, my tribe. So I go to each one of the members of my inner circle, my tribe, and I had the conversation with them. I let them know, like, look, I'm planning on having this surgery. When I get out of surgery, they're probably going to give me these opiates. Here are my concerns. What are yours? My inner circle voiced their concerns to me. They vocalized, like, look, we're nervous. You've been doing really good, but we're nervous. Cool. I'm nervous too. I shared with them, and we formulated a plan. That plan was mainly for accountability, specifically for the Oxycontin that they prescribed to me. I gave certain individuals permission to ask me certain questions that outside of this situation, you're not allowed to ask me. For a specific duration of time, I let them know that, hey, you can ask me between this window. Outside of this window, you bring that up to me, you're going to get a different answer. So I gave permission for accountability. And part of that accountability was asking me point blank, how many pills have you taken today? Like painkillers? And they would total it up. They would keep it in total. And they would match that total with what I had in the pill bottle left. So we were keeping accountability verbally, but they were also checking on the amount that I had inside of the pill bottle too, just to make sure that what I was saying was actually true. I did this because I know I can be accountable to myself. It's more helpful when you can be accountable to people who love you and care about you too. The 4 points that I want you to take away from this topic, I guess, is one, yes, we as individuals in recovery have to analyze situations differently than other individuals do. It's just life. 2, when you're going to a situation that's unknown, that has you scared, that has you nervous, take it up with your creator, your higher power. From there, take it up with the governing bodies, make sure everything's in line the way that you want it. 3, make sure that you have a plan of attack and a plan of accountability. A plan of attack meaning, hey, this is how we're going to approach the situation, and this is how the outcome should be. And a plan for accountability is, hey, during this time frame, this is what I'm willing to be accountable for, and this is who I'm willing to be accountable to. Having those 4 things in place, I believe, gives us a good structure to manage situations that are unknown and that are pretty scary. What I really want to highlight, though, is what I learned through that experience myself. What I learned is that if I'm still afraid of a substance, then it still has some sort of control over me. And if I'm going to say that I'm a new creation, living a recovered lifestyle, living recovery, living a sober lifestyle, however you want to position it, I can't be afraid of the substance, because that means that substance still has power over me. And in a sober lifestyle, that substance no longer has power over me. So in my head, I had to come to the acknowledgement that I am a new creation, and that because I was fearful of this substance, I still allowed that substance to have some sort of power over me. I don't believe that any type of substance should have power over me. That's also part of sober living. I also learned that I can't be afraid. And this one was one that really kind of got me, because I think for a lot of individuals in recovery, this is difficult. But what I learned is that I cannot be afraid to use something properly, even when my only experience has been the improper use of it. Guys, broken down simply, I couldn't be afraid to take the prescription pills just because my only experience with those type of opiates was unmanaged, unprescribed, and devastating. At this point in time, the doctor's giving it to me for a specific reason and for a specific time frame. So I cannot be afraid of it. Again, my personal belief is that if you're afraid of the substance that you stopped using, great, kudos to you for stopped using it. But the next step is to get over the fear of it. Because if it still has fear over you, then you're still bound by it. If you're still bound by it, can you really say that you're living sober? I couldn't find a manual on this stuff. I couldn't find a book on this stuff. So that's why I'm sharing it with you. Again, my goal is just to be hope. My goal is just to be a hope for someone that you can get through it. That these scenarios yo, we can have success over them. But in addition to that, I really just want to spread the message that we do recover, even if it's with no halo.